Hey everyone, I'm Sarah, and today we are doing a crochet stream. I am going to be teaching you guys the half double and the treble stitches. So we've learned single crochet and double crochet, and those are your two most popular that you'll probably use the most in any pattern. However, you may come across the half double or the treble. Half double is probably more popular than the treble, but you definitely could come across either of those in a pattern. So I want to go ahead and show you what those look like. So first I want to do a couple little housekeeping things. One is that if you notice right here on my screen, I've got a Discord server called ArtShare, and we stream live. So if you notice up here, you see there are our two names here, mine and Queen Bee. Hello, Fire Mage, welcome. We are live, so you can actually join us and you can talk live on the stream. One of the things I love about crochet, I also do weaving and things like that, is that it's a very communal art. So there's constantly interaction, and it's very much about the community and about fellowship. So I think that fiber arts in general lends itself to a group activity, and so that's why I wanted to go ahead and bring everybody on for to be able to join me, and it's not just me talking. Okay. That said, in order to join the Discord, you can either type this in, or you can, if you, somewhere on my page, there is an About tab. So I would say, I think if you click on my name, it'll bring up the tabs, and you can click on About, and there is a button that is it says Discord. Click on that and it will join you instantly. Okay, let me just show you what it looks like when you come over to Discord. So you'll see here when you join, it should bring you into welcome, I think, and you should see all of these channels. If you click on stream chat here, it will instantly join you to the stream. Crochet projects can be posted here. So if you, like here's our stream chat, here's the crochet projects, and you'll see that people have posted their projects. So you can, add your projects here as you do them. All right. So that is Discord. Now, something else I want to tell you before we move on, I want to show you the differences between single, half double, double, and treble. So this is single crochet. I've done 3 rows of each. So this is 3 rows of single crochet, 3 rows of half double crochet, 3 rows of double crochet, and 3 rows of treble crochet. So what this is this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I just wanted you to see the difference in the size, but also look at the difference in how it like bends and folds. Notice that single is very sturdy. It's very sturdy looking. Half double, a little bit less so, double, a little less so, and then treble is kind of all over the place. And so like the bigger you get in your stitches, you can continue going bigger and bigger and bigger. Bigger you get in your stitches, the more like loosey-goosey it's gonna look. Like it's not gonna look as pretty as and tight as your smaller stitches. So okay, Queen Bee, are you there? I see that you're muted. So Queen Bee is one of my students, Molly, and you're here. Hello. So welcome. So do you have your hook and yarn with you today? Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So just for everyone out there, if you have not learned single and double crochet, that's okay, because I'm going to be teaching these 2 stitches from scratch, so you don't have to know anything prior to this. I've got a size 5mm hook, which is also called an H, letter H in American sizes. And then I've got a pair of scissors. I'm going to put these to the side, but it's always handy to have a pair of scissors ready. Now I've got two different colors here of yarn I'm going to use. So I'm going to use the green yarn for my half double. Okay. So. All right, so I'm going to take my hook. So the first thing we're going to do is our slip knot. And just as a reminder of how to do a slip knot, you're going to take a piece of the yarn and twist it so that it creates a loop. And then whichever side is on top, so it's this side is on top, you're going to create another little loop like that. You're going to go underneath your first loop and pull this loop through. And what you're going to do is grab your tail. This is your tail. This is your working yarn. You're going to grab both of those, put your finger in the loop, and pull. Fire Mage just got 3rd place in Call of Duty. What is FFA? I forgot already. Remind me. Is that some kind of special battle? Forgive me, I'm not a Call of Duty. Free for all. Okay. Very good. Good job, Fire Mage. Can I say your real name on here? I don't know. I don't know if you want me to say it. All right, so there's your slip knot. You want to put your slip knot on your hook and just pull it tight. But when you pull it tight, you don't want to pull it tight up here where it's small. See how the hook gets smaller here? You want to pull it tight at the fat part. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to do some chain stitches. Now, you should be pretty familiar with chain stitch by now if you've been following, but you pinch this loop with your right hand. Then you are going to yarn over, and I always yarn over coming from behind. So you yarn over. So now it should look like you have 2 loops on there.
I don't know how to do the slip knot. I tried, but I got
Okay, I told your mom you might need help with that, but here, I'll do the slip knot one more time so you can watch. So watch what I do. So you're going to take your yarn, lay it flat, and you're going to just twist it once. And when you twist it, it will create this little loop. Now, one of the sides is on top. See how this side is on the bottom and this side's on the top? Mm-hmm. The side that's on the top, you're going to make another little loop like that. Then you're going to go under your original in through that hole. So you're coming from through the hole, but from the bottom. Then you're going to stick your finger in that loop, your other finger. Okay. And then you're going to grab your tail and the other side, your other yarn. So you're going to grab your two little tails coming from there and just pull. Did that make a knot? Okay. Now you can go ahead and you can, with your finger on it, you can actually just pull the 2 pieces of yarn at the bottom apart, and it will actually make it smaller. And then you can put it on your hook and just make it as small as your hook, but in the fat part of the hook. Did that work for you? Okay. So I always hold my tail along the side of the hook with these back 3 fingers. So your back 3 fingers are going to hold that hook and tail and everything in place. Your front 2 fingers are going to actually pinch the slip knot and loop on there. It's going to pinch it, and it keeps it from moving around, because if you yarn over without pinching it, here's what happens. It just pulls it. It's just going to keep pulling it around, and we don't want that. So I'm going to hold that in place. pinch it so that it keeps it steady. And then I'm going to yarn over. So I'm still holding this, by the way, with my back finger. And see, like I just traded my thumb so it doesn't slip. So you always need to hold it with something, but I'm just holding it in place with my back finger so you guys can see it. Okay, so you yarn over. So what you're going to do is you're going to trade pinches. You're going to take your left hand and pinch it so that it doesn't move. Then you're going to, I actually just pull on the knot part a little bit, like see this little part here where it's knotted. I just pull on that a little bit so you can see the top part of the loop, but it still holds it in place. And you're going to gradually pull your hook through the hole. And then pinch that again so that doesn't move. So now you have one little loop on there. Did that work?
Not yet.
Okay. Yarn over. Trade pinches, which means you're going to pinch it with the left hand. And then you start pulling your hook. I'm going to hold this up close so you can see. I'm actually pulling, I'm pinching it, but I'm pinching it like where the knot is. There. So you're going to pull your hook and just pull it right through that hole. Like that. And then pinch it again. And see, you have like little bits that are coming off. So we're just going to keep doing that. You're very welcome, and happy birthday, Fire Mage. I'm glad you're having fun with it. Okay, so I'm trading pinches to the other hand, and then I'm pulling that hook through. Then I pinch it again. So all I'm doing, I yarn over, trade pinches, pull it through, then pinch again. Yarn over, trade pinches, pull it through, and then pinch again. Like that. And you just keep doing that over and over again. So just keep doing that for a little while. Doesn't matter how many times you do it. We're just practicing. Yarn over.
What are we doing for the drawing tonight?
We're doing a horse. I'll talk about that later, though. Okay. Trade pinches, pull through, pinch again. Yarn over, trade pinches, pull through. Oops. There we go. Pinch again. Yarn over, trade pinches, pull through, pinch again. Yarn over, trade pinches, pull through, pinch again. And you just keep doing that. And so you're going to start getting this long string behind you. So you can do that for a little while. It doesn't matter how many times you do it today.
It's good I'm doing this because in 6th grade,
Uh-huh.
if I get into agriculture, I have to do crochet projects.
Well, there you go. And you'll already know how to do it. That is awesome. I didn't know that.
I'm good at this chain stitch.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, the longer you do it, the more you practice doing it, you'll get good to where it's very even. It's usually not super even at first. Like, it took me a while to get it to where all my chains looked about the same size. Like, now if you look at it, look, they're all about the same size. But before, it definitely, they were all, like, mostly they were very tiny. So you just got to be careful not to pull too tight. When you pull it through, don't do it too tight. Like, make sure, like, let it loosen up a little bit there. I'm going to go ahead and stop and let you guys catch up. It doesn't matter how many you do. Just get to a number that you feel comfortable. Just to let everybody else know, if you're interested in joining the Discord, you can. If you see up here and you can hear Molly talking, we are actually live, and we are here at this address. So that's how she's talking to everybody. All right. Now, once you have a string, now if you were following a pattern, you would have, it would tell you do 36 chains. and it would say 36CH, and that's how you know that's a chain stitch. So, or it might say, 21, or it might say a multiple of 6 or something like that. It just depends on what you're doing. So like last week we did our shell stitch and it needed to be in multiples of 6. So just depends on what stitch you're doing as to how many chains you're going to do. Now today, because we're just doing a practice stitch, it doesn't matter how many you do. So you're going to do a certain number, and then with a half double, so with a single crochet, when you're doing single crochet, you just add 1. So if you're chaining 20, you would do 21. If you were chaining, let's say 36, then you would do 37. You would chain 37. So we're going to do one more. Well, sorry, that would be if you were single crochet. With half double, you chain 2 more. So if you were doing 20, then you would do 22. So I don't know how many I have here, but I'm going to go ahead and chain 2 more. 1, 2. Okay, now for the half double, you're going to yarn over. Now, if you have done the double crochet with me, then you know that yarning over is kind of a thing there. Whereas with single crochet, you do not yarn over. Half double does yarn over. And what we're going to do is we're going to skip those first 2 that we chained. So 1, 2, and we're going to go into the 3rd hole. So we yarn over so that it looks like there's 2 on there. We go into the 1, 2, 3 third hole. So I just went through that hole. You're going to hook your yarn and bring it back through the hole. So then it'll look like you have 3 on here. 1, 2, 3. Hold that up so you can see it. So did everybody catch that? Molly, did you catch how I did that?
Yeah.
Do you want me to do it again?
I got it, but it's kind of naughty.
What do you mean naughty?
It's like in a knot.
Well, it shouldn't be in a knot. If you do, I'm going to go back. So does your chain look like this? Is it pretty even, or is it kind of uneven?
So in the beginning, I made it too small.
Okay.
I started going bigger.
So one of the things I do to get over that, because it takes a little while at first, that's called your tension. So one of the things I do is I will take a larger hook, so like this one's bigger, and I will do my chain stitches with the bigger hook, then switch out from the size that I want. So that might be one way to do it. Okay, so let's review the half double again. So we added 2. I'm going to yarn over, and then I'm going to count 1, 2, skip those 2, and go into the 3rd. Then I'm going to pull that yarn back through so that I have 3 on there. Now, yarn over again, and with the double crochet, normally you just pull through 2 of them, but for the half double, we're going to actually go ahead and pull through all 3. And of course, it's wanting to be finicky. So I'm going to do another one. Yarn over. I'm going to go through the next hole. Pull the yarn through. So I've got 3 on there. Yarn over again and pull through all 3 stitches.
It went into a big ball again.
We'll just try keeping going. It's really better to do it on a table. So are you at a table?
Yes.
Okay, good. So do it so where it's laying flat on the table, and that the little tail here should always go to the left. So yarn over. We're going to go into the next hole. So we put the hook into the next hole, pull the yarn through, then yarn over again and pull through all 3 loops. Yarn over, go through the next hole, pull that yarn through, yarn over again, and pull through all 3 loops. yarn over, go through the next hole. And just so you know, the next hole, see how there's little bumps? Bump, bump, bump. I'm just going through that next bump. And if you look, it's pulling on this bump here. So that one's the one I'm already in. And so I'm going to go to this next one right there. So I'm going to go through the next hole, pull the yarn through, yarn over again, and pull through all three. So let's keep practicing that. Yarn over, go through the next hole, pull the yarn through, yarn over again, and pull through all three. And I'm just going to keep doing that. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I need to slow down a little bit. Yarn over, go through the next hole, pull the yarn through, yarn over again, pull through all three. So I'm just going very slow, or trying to go very slow. Now, depending on how many you did, it may take you longer or less time to go all the way across. I didn't count. So I don't.
Mine isn't.
Yours isn't what?
Mine isn't staying together at the bottom. It's like apart.
What do you mean? The yarn isn't?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the kind of yarn it is. I mean, mine is pretty loose. You may, and I messed up on that one, so I've got to go back. You may want to ask your mom. Is she handy?
Nope, she's upstairs.
Okay, because I told her that I wanted her to stay handy in case you had a question.
Well, I can get her.
Well, because if it's just the yarn that's pulling apart, it could just be that it's not great yarn. Do you have other yarn you can use? Okay.
It's the Red Heart Super Saver.
Okay. I do have some Red Heart. It shouldn't be pulling apart though. So I'm going into my last hole. Here's the, hold on, let me pull that out there so you can see it. There's the knot there. So I'm going to go into I yarned over and I'm going to go into my last hole. Pull through, yarn over,
I'll be right back.
pull through all three. Okay? So I'm going to let everybody catch up. This is what it should look like. So today we're working on this one and this one. We've already learned single crochet and double crochet. So today we're learning half double and treble. So this is the size of 1 stitch, the size of 2 stitches, the size of 3 stitches, and the size of 4 stitches. How is everybody doing today? First place! Dude, that's awesome. You just keep practicing. That's how you get better. Yeah, there's no chance of me kicking your butt in Call of Duty now, even if I started playing. Okay. So I want to go ahead and move on to the next row. Hopefully everybody's caught up. So here's what you're going to do. So you know that every time we need to turn the work. We need to be able to turn the work so that we can go the opposite direction, right? The problem is that you can't turn it right here or it's going to pull in. It's going to pull your previous row into the next row. So what we have to do is we have to do a chain stitch that's going to act as our it's going to act as a an actual stitch. So here's what we're going to do. For this, for half double, we're going to chain 2. For single, we only chained 1. Half double, we're going to chain 2. So 1, 2. Now we can turn. Now that counts as your first half double crochet. So you're going to skip this first one and go straight into the second one. So yarn over, go through the hole, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. And we're just going to go across like that. Yarn over, go through the hole, pull the yarn through, yarn over again, pull through all 3. Yarn over, go through the hole, pull the yarn through, yarn over again, pull through all 3. You said if only Marcus could do that well. You know what? I bet if he played more, he probably would do that well. I think it's a matter of just playing and getting the skill, you know? I have a feeling Marcus would be highly skilled at that because, you know, the thing about it is that in our day we had shooting games as well. They were just a little bit different kinds of shooting games. And so it's not that he doesn't have those skills. It's just he doesn't have it specifically with Call of Duty. So it's just a little practice. I'm pretty sure he could kick your butt. Sorry to say that, but I'm pretty sure. Like if he practiced a little bit. I might be biased. Okay. Yarn over, go through the hole, pull the yarn through, yarn over again, pull through all 3. Yarn over, go through the hole, pull the yarn through, yarn over, go through all 3. And every time I want to show you guys, there's this one, see this one little piece of yarn here? It's actually a strand from the yarn. You just have to make sure that you catch all of it. This particular yarn that I'm using, it's Karen Simply Soft. Well, part of what makes it soft is that they don't have the coating on it like they do on like this kind of yarn. So it's a little bit coarser, but it's really the same thing. They're both acrylic yarn. So what ends up happening is that this doesn't fall apart. This is Red Heart. It doesn't fall apart as much as this does. So I get these little strands that just don't want to cooperate. Let's keep going though. So yarn over. We're going to go through this next hole. And just to remind everybody, the holes we're going through are these little V's. If you look at the top, like look at this from a topographic, you see these little V's. These are your previous stitches from the row below. So what you're doing is you are going through the previous stitch. So you're going under both sides of the V. Now in a previous class, I taught about going through this is called the front loop, this is called the back loop. We usually go through both, but I've taught a class where if you just go through the front loop or you just go through the back loop, you will create a texture where it looks raised. So, so there are advantages to not going through both, but for the purposes of this, we're going to go through both. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that yarn through the hole. So it looks like I've got 3 on there. Yarn over and pull through all 3. Yarn over, go through the next hole, pull it through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Now I'm going to get myself some slack here because, all right. Yarn over, go through the next hole, pull that yarn through, yarn over again, and remember I'm always yarning over from back to front. Pull the yarn through all 3. And you just keep going like this. This is very relaxing, and in fact I encourage you to do this as a form of meditation. I thoroughly enjoy crochet. Even when I was making these this morning, just the little samples, it's very relaxing. And I encourage you to do anything that you find relaxing. There is something that you enjoy doing and it's just a really especially when you're engaging in something. So of course everybody likes just laying back and taking a nap, right? And that, I think you should do those too. If you have the option, then I think you should. However, as a personal development coach, I would encourage you to do things that are activities that you enjoy. So something where you're actually active. Video games can certainly be one of those, such as Fire Mage's case. The biggest thing with video games is you have to understand that they can sometimes become addictive. So you just want to be careful that you're not feeling compulsive about playing, that you take breaks and not, look at it all the time. Okay, I'm at the end here, and if you look, there actually is one more crochet there, but it's just really hard to get to. So I'm going to yarn over, and then I'm just going to try, sometimes I have to use my fingers to kind of pick it over. And you just have to sort of force the hook through. Pull the yarn through. And then pull through all 3. There we go. Now, I could go ahead and do another row of this, but if everybody's comfortable, I'm going to go ahead and cut this and end it here. And I'm going to show you guys the treble stitch. So I'm going to yarn over, pull it through one last time, and just pull tight. And that will knot it. Now, just to remind everybody, I'm going to show you how to weave your ends in. So what I like to do is I like to get a smaller hook for weaving ends. And what you're going to do is I usually start about 4 in. I'm going to go in, out, in, out. Hook your yarn and you're going to pull your yarn through that. This might not be the best yarn to do this with because this yarn is a pain. One second, guys. There we go. You're going to pull it all the way through and then just kind of loosen. Now I'm going to flip it over and doing the same. I'm going to go back the same way. Oops. Sorry, I need to come from behind. There we go. I think. No. Sorry. I did have it right. I'm going to get it right. In, out, in. All right. Hook it and pull it through. And what this does, now you can do each one individually, but what this does is it locks it in place so that after you snip it, it shouldn't fight against itself. So like it just locks it in place. Let's try this again. I'm going to do this one individually. So I'm going to stick my hook in and pull the yarn through. Come from the other side. Pull the yarn the other way. Go in. Pull the other way. And I do this about 4 or 5 times. So I'm going to come one more time there. All right. Now I'm going to come back the other way. So I pull my hook through. And I like doing this with a smaller hook because it makes it a little bit easier. It's not quite as tight. Well, I got, of course, the very last one. It's going to give me problems. All right. So I'm going to put that to the side. I'm going to trim this, and I always just kind of tug on it a little bit and make sure that it's nice and tight there. And that is called weaving in your ends. Molly, are you there? That way you don't see the ends. I wonder if she's still there. Hey, did you figure it out?
Not at all. It's just sliding into a bigger knot.
Okay. Well, we're getting ready to do it again. So if you want to cut that off and start over, we're going to be doing the treble now. So this is our half double. So that's this one here, size-wise. We're going to be doing our treble. So if you want to just start over, I would just cut that off. Sorry, clean workspace. Just trying to clean up my space a little bit. That is one thing I encourage everyone. It's very easy to get into the habit of just like setting stuff to the side. You know, you set your little yarn pieces to the side or whatever, and maybe start a little pile. That can be okay, you know, especially for a little while, you know, because you maybe, depending on where your trash can is, if it's across the room, you know. I encourage you to keep a little trash can whenever you're working, especially on smaller projects, whenever you're working with your yarn. You want to, you know, you can either keep it in a little pile, but I try to just throw things right away. I tell my art students, it's my #1 rule, clean workspace. I think it's just really important to keep everything clean. I have had situations, now this has happened with my regular art, but I've had situations where I was working on one project and I didn't clean up, and I go and I work on another project and end up messing up the other project. So I was doing some woodworking. I had sawdust everywhere. I did not clean it up. And I went and I worked on an oil painting. I worked on that oil painting. I want to say I put probably a good 6 or 7 hours into it, which is a long time to be painting, let me tell you. And there was like some backdraft. I think like a door got opened or something, and it blew sawdust all over my painting. I mean, I was able to eventually save it, but oh my goodness, it was such a pain. And if I had just cleaned up my workspace when I was done, it wouldn't have happened. So I highly encourage, you never know. I've accidentally spilled water before, things like that, just from not having a clean workspace. So I now have a policy of just always cleaning things up as I go. All right, let's do treble. So we've got single, half double, which we just learned today, double crochet, which you've already learned single and double. So now we're going to learn our treble stitch. Now, treble is one of the biggest stitches of your 4 basic. Well, it is the biggest stitch of your 4 basic, but you can actually go bigger than this. You can do a double treble. I like it because it sounds like double trouble. All right, so let's do our slip knot again. Okay, so we're gonna cross it, and so we have this little loop. You with me, Molly? Molly Kate, are you with me? Okay. So we're going to cross our yarn on whichever side is on top. You're going to make another little loop, and you're going to come up from the bottom through that loop, that first loop you made. So come up through the bottom, grab your new little loop that you just pulled up, and then pull both ends down, and that will make your slip knot. You can pull it a little bit tight and then get your hook in there. Now, I'm going to show you guys a trick. If you don't have a bigger hook, I do encourage you to use a bigger hook while you're going, but if you don't have one, like say you only have one size hook, I'm going to show you what you can do. So we're going to do our chain stitches, yarn over, switch pinches. You know, we're going to change our pinch to our left hand, pull through, and then I'm just going to, you just very loosely, you let go of the yarn with your left hand and just kind of pull that just a little bit, just kind of shake it. And what happens is, see, it makes it a little bit bigger. That's what I would recommend doing. And I just accidentally pulled my slip knot tight. So I'm going to start over. I'm going to do a new slip knot. Okay, so I've got my new slip knot. Yarn over, switch pinches, pull through, and then just kind of shake it a little bit. And that just gives you a little bit of slack. Put a finger on there or pinch with your right hand, yarn over, grab it with your left hand, pull the yarn through, and give it a little shake. And this is what's going to help give you some, so see how I've got a little bit of a hole there? You want there to be a little bit of space. You don't want it to be super tight like that, like where you can't even see the space. So that's why I just give it a little shake. Yarn over, pull through, give it a little shake. Yarn over, got to trade your pinches, pull through, give it a little shake. Okay? So we're just going to do that. And so that should help, Molly, with your tension. You know, I've actually had some people tell me that it's relaxing just to watch me crochet on my stream. So even if you're not following me, like I said, sometimes it's relaxing to watch somebody crochet. Especially if they get going fast. Okay, now I'm not going to go too far. Always make sure to give yourself some slack, like pull some yarn out so that you've got a little bit. Otherwise, it'll start to get really tight. And this is what happened here. See how this curves in at the bottom here? It's because I got too tight with my chain stitch. It happens. And I've been crocheting for 31 years. A long time. So Molly, tell me when you get to your the end of your chain stitch. Like, oh, you are. Look at this girl. She's so fast. All right. All right. So now we're going to go ahead. We're going to add 4. So we added 1 for single crochet. We added 2 for half double. We add 3 for double crochet. We're going to add 4 because it adds 4 stitches length. So we're going to, whatever your number is, just add 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, here's the tricky bit. So this one doesn't yarn over at all. This one yarns over once. This one yarns over once. This one yarns over twice. So you're going to actually do 2 yarn overs. So see how I did that? So I'm going to start over so you can see that. So you're going to yarn over once and then just wrap it right again. Yarn over twice. Does that make sense, Molly?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to go in 5 from the hole because we've got to skip those first 4 that we did. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to go in number 5. So I go through the number 5 hole and I'm going to pull my yarn through. So it should look like I have 4 stitches on here. Now, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, and then pull through all 3. So it's kind of similar to the half double because you're pulling through all 3. But it's different because we're kind of mixing the double crochet and the half double. So yarn over twice, remember. Go through the next hole and pull the yarn through. Thank you, Fire Mage. I appreciate that. Yarn over again, just the once this time. You're going to pull through the first 2, just like we do with double crochet. You pull through those first 2. So you have 3 left on the hook. Yarn over again, and then pull through all 3. Is this making sense, Molly? Nope. All right. What part's not making sense? Okay, so I'm not sure what's happening to make you go into a big ball. I'm going to turn you up, your volume, because I can't hear you as well. All right. Talk now. Say something. Hi. Okay. Well, it's not a lot of a thing, but that works. Okay, so you are louder. So when you say it goes into a big ball, so okay, you're going around twice. You go into your hole. So, okay, so when you go into the hole, this is what it should look like. You're in the hole there, and you've got 1, 2, 3 on there before it. So it should look like there's 4 almost on there. Is that what it looks like for you?
I'm going through the 5th hole.
Yep.
Yes, it does look like that.
Okay. Yarn over one more time. So it's going to look like there's 5 on there.
Got it.
Okay. Pull it through. You're going to pull that through, but only the first 2. So 1 and 2. So you should have 3 left on there because there were 5 and now we minus 2. Did that work?
I got 4 left on.
Okay, well you need to go through one more.
Gone through the last one. But now I only have 2.
Well, you can always start the stitch over again. So this is what I do if I feel like I've messed up. I pull everything but the last one off. So leave the last one on there. And then just pull everything out. And so it's kind of, you can just start over. So yarn over twice. You're going to go through that next hole and pull your yarn through. So it should look like you have 4 on there. But then you're going to yarn over again. Pull through 2. Yarn over. Pull through all 3. 1, 2, 3. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm starting a new one. I yarn over twice. I go through the next hole and pull my yarn through. So it'll look like I have 4 loops on there. Yarn over again. pull through 2, yarn over again, pull through the next 3.
I got 3. No. Got 3.
You got 3?
Well, I have 3 on the thing now.
Okay. All right. Well, once you have 3 on there, then you yarn over again and you just pull through all 3. Hope everybody's having a great day. Sounds like Fire Mage is having an excellent day. If you got first place in the Call of Duty free-for-all. So that sounds excellent.
But now I have 3 back on.
Well, that shouldn't be. If you yarned over and you pulled through all 3, you should end up with only 1 on like that.
That's because my yarn's tearing.
Well, it might look like 3, but you have to consider that if the yarn's pulling apart, it's still just 1. It still just counts as 1. I will help get you some better yarn. We'll get you some nice yarn. I've got some wool yarn that won't pull apart like this that I can give you next time I see you. Depending on how everything goes, I'm shooting for Friday. Okay, so let's try this again. We're yarn over twice, go through the next hole, pull the yarn through, yarn over again, pull through the first 2, yarn over again, pull through the last 3. Yarn over twice, go through the hole, pull the yarn through. Yarn over again, pull through the first 2, yarn over again, pull through all 3. And see, it's making a nice stitch there. Yarn over twice, go through the hole, pull the yarn through. Yarn over again, pull through the first 2, yarn over again, pull through the next 3. And don't worry, Molly, if you don't get it today, I will help you next time I see you. It just takes practice. So just keep going, even if it doesn't look right. Just keep going and keep trying. You might have to go back and just re-watch this video. Or like I said, I can help you when I see you in person. So yarn over twice. Go through the next hole. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over again. Pull through the first 2. Yarn over again and pull through the next 3. Yarn over twice. Now, when we get to the end of this row, I'll show you how to move up to the next one. But it's going to make it kind of tall because treble is very tall. And you'll notice, like I said, it starts to look a little wonky the bigger you get. So you get a lot more height, but you don't have as much stability. So it's similar in weaving. The more it is called a float. The bigger the float. Float is when you've got like a yarn that goes across something without actually being hooked in. The bigger your float, the less stable your weaving is. So you just have to be careful about how big. I mean, this is a little more stable because it's actually being crocheted together, but it starts losing its form. And that's just something that you risk the bigger the crochet stitch that you do. Give myself some slack. The biggest problem that I have when I'm doing treble is to remember to yarn over twice, because I'm so used to doing double crochet, which is only a one-time yarn over, that I get a little bit thrown off. Double crochet is definitely my favorite. So I'm going to stop here because I got to the end. I'll just give you guys a little bit of a chance to catch up. Double crochet is my favorite. It's the fastest and the easiest as far as like you're only doing one. So, you know, it's just wrap, pull, wrap, pull through, you know, I mean, like you're going really fast. So you can actually get going quite fast, and it still gives you quite a bit of height compared to the single crochet. It also has a little bit more stability. So it's just my favorite. Double crochet is my favorite. You know, yes, I play favorites when it comes to crochet stitches. You know what I was thinking? So next week we're doing the star stitch. I was thinking that after that I might go ahead and teach you guys some knitting, because I haven't done any knitting. I've been doing crochet for months, and I haven't done any knitting, and I think that knitting might be something that you guys would be interested in learning. And at least I want to do a couple of classes, maybe your knit stitch, your purl stitch, and how to read a pattern, you know, how to drop stitches and things like that. We'll see. We'll see how in depth I get. I may come back to crochet because there's just so much you can do with crochet, but we'll see. Okay. So when you get to the end, remember we added 1 for this, 2 for this, 3 for this. So we're going to actually chain stitch 4 in order to turn. So yarn over, pull through once, twice, 3 times, a lady. Haha, 4. All right, so we're going to turn. So yarn over twice. Now this first chain actually counts as a crochet. So we're going to skip this first one and go into the second hole. And remember, our second hole is our little V there. If you look at the top, you see these V's. You're going through both loops of the V. So pull your yarn through, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the last 3. All right. So we're going to do our treble stitch going all the way across. I have a bad habit of slouching when I'm sitting in this chair. It's because I've got this big pillow behind me. So I need to practice sitting up straight. It helps your back.
I'm going to watch for the rest of this video.
Okay, sounds good. It was good seeing you yesterday, by the way.
It was good seeing you too.
I had a lot of fun.
Me too.
So as mentioned earlier on the stream, we had a little birthday yesterday, so I got to hang out with the kids. And that was pretty fun. Definitely had too much sugar yesterday. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We ate, me, Mom, and Jack, we both ate a huge piece of cake this morning.
Oh,
and
yeah?
cookies.
Is there any cake left?
There's 1 piece.
Oh, 1 piece? I was gonna see if there's any chance you could save me a piece, but if there's only 1 left.
You can have the rest. I don't think we're gonna eat.
I don't know if Jack would appreciate you volunteering his cake.
Well, I'll ask him.
Yeah. He may be listening.
He said you can have some.
Some, exactly.
It's pretty big of a piece.
Yeah, it's very rich. So tell him maybe he can just cut me off a little slice of that and then and save it for when I come. It's very good cake. Jack picked it out. It's like a chocolate, I don't know. It's a but one of those death by chocolate kind of cakes.
Chocolate ganache cake.
Chocolate ganache. There you go. Even the name sounds fancy. Okay, so we're getting to the end. Pulling through all 3. Just remembering to wind through twice. Okay, so here's my 2 rows. Now, I want to show you guys something. So this is called a treble. Remember how I mentioned you have something called a double treble? You can keep adding on to this. So I'm just going to show you how I do that. Let's say I want to do a double treble. I'm going to add 5. So I go 1, oops, 2, 3, 4, 5, return. I'm going to go twice. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in through my hole. You act like you're doing a double crochet. Oops. Oh, sorry. I said twice. 3 times. Go around 3 times. You're going to go through the hole and pull it through. Then we are going to act like we're doing a double crochet. You bring it through the first 2, yarn over, bring it through the next 2, yarn over, bring it through the last 3. I'm going to show you guys how big this is. It's a huge stitch. It's a little bit too big for my taste. I prefer, like I said, I prefer the double crochet. Too extreme for me. Uh-oh. I missed one. So 1, 2, 3. Go through. All I'm showing you guys is the double treble so you can see how you add on to this. You go through the first 2 and then you pull through all 3 at the very end. So 1, 2, 3. I might not even be adding enough at the beginning. It might not be 5. This might be 6. I feel like this is 6. Hold on. This is a double treble, but there might be a single treble. So this is double treble. And it's just funny to say, double treble. All right, so this is pretty tall. I think I did this right though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did this right. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Go through the next hole. Pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through all 3. 1, 2, 3. So you can see you can actually make this quite large if you wanted to. Again, this is the double treble. I'm just showing you this to show you, to prove to you that you can actually go through multiple. And like you could just keep adding on. I mean, I could actually add on, you know, as many yarn overs as I wanted to. Probably wouldn't because like I said, it keeps getting less and less stable. I'm going to just stop there so you can see just how big that stitch is even compared to the treble. It's a very large stitch.
That looks great.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and continue this across just so that it's done, and then we'll be done for the day. So I'll recap what we've learned. We learned the half double, which is very similar to the single, but you yarn over 1 time. So that gives you an extra. So what you'll do is instead, so you'll come through the first 2 and then, you'll actually pull through all 3. So you go like you're going to single crochet, but instead of pulling through 2, you'll be pulling through 3. So that's the half double. Then we learned the treble right here. The treble is where you yarn over twice instead of just the once. You basically treat it like a double crochet, but when you get to the second part, you pull through 3 instead of 2. So both the treble and the half double have it where you pull through 3. So that's an interesting difference. Nope, I didn't wrap the number of times. 1, 2, 3. I told you I always end up forgetting to wrap like one of the times whenever I'm doing these very large stitches like this. They're not called for often. I'm not going to lie. You don't usually see treble and almost rarely see double treble in a pattern. Just because it's so big, you know, and it's so bulky. So the only time you might see it is in like something where it's like it uses very large yarn, like this kind of yarn where it's very fat. That might be a time when you would see it. Okay, I have one left. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and snip this, pull it through. Now I'm not going to weave in my ends like I did the other one. You guys know how to weave in ends. I showed you. But just to show you like how big this can get. So like look at the size of this compared to this part here. It's quite large. So I appreciate everyone for joining me today, especially Molly Kate, who joined me on Discord. And if you would like to join me on Discord, if you see up here where I've got the little icons, this is me and Molly. And this is the link that you would go to in order to join us in talk. So you can ask questions or just chit chat if you want to. It doesn't matter. And that's how you would do that. If you want to do that, so there's a couple things you can do. I'm going to put a link in the chat. All you have to do is do !Discord, and that sends you a link there, right there in the chat. So you can click on that link and that will automatically join you. If you don't have a Discord account, you may have to set up a little account, but it's very easy to do. So that shouldn't be a problem. And that's it. You join. All right. So tonight at 7 p.m., I will be teaching a drawing class. We are going to be doing a horse. I will be adding that reference drawing to my Discord channel. So I encourage you to join this. And then you'll get to see that reference photo as well as anyone. Molly usually joins me, and she's going to probably do the photo with the drawing with me. So she'll upload her art as well. So you'll get to see her wonderful art. So I look forward to you joining me tonight at 7. Thank you so much for joining my crochet stream. And I look forward to seeing you next week. We'll be doing a star stitch. It's a very beautiful stitch. So have a fantastic week and weekend, and I'll see you next Tuesday.